29, just shy of the 30.
Good job, baby. Good job. Good stop, D. Good stop.
Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right.
Here we go.
Wentz to throw on second down. Over the middle, complete. That's Gibson. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing on first is Wentz. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time. And it's 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, 0 nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now, 1st and 10 at their own 26. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. And finding the tight end Hooper. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. Well called, well blocked, and then he just made a great play. That was an athlete going a long way.
Yeah, how about the suddenness, too, of just getting there and taking off and going? For the defensive guys, plays like that really hurt.
Bryant's extra point up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. Here's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. That'll go as a loss of 5. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now. Go.
From the gun, it's Wentz. Looking for Jeffrey, and it's intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. And this defense looking like they have come to play the pick six, and just like that, it's 13-0 early on.
Well, go back with me to our training camp visit. What do we hear during these drills? Pass. Ball's in the air.
And then my favorite.
Oski. That's the interception. That means everybody finds someone to block them legally, stay on your feet, and they get it done. Touchdown.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Falcons grab it. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free. Anything you can do to slow them down.
And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. A tale of two extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And they'll let this one go right on the outskirts of the 10. They'll down it at the 11-yard line. And out now come the Eagles. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. K.J. Wright. In from his linebacker's spot, he's able to drop him for a loss of about 10. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Coleman now. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on third and very long. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
On third and long, it's Wentz. Flushed out right. Now he's going to throw it back deep over the middle. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. And this one will be touchdown inside the 40-yard line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And this is their third drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
Now Ryan. He completes it to Julio Jones. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That one goes for 24 yards. And that's the connection, Ryan to Jones, that this defense obviously has to key in on.
Certainly feels like they got the party started with that one, doesn't it? And when those two get in sync, it just scares the heck out of defenses because he can hit Julio Jones in a short zone, and he can take it the whole way.
Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now 2nd and 13. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. The 20. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back.
It got his man complete. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
They go play action here on first down.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit, right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Here's Wentz to throw. Ertz over the middle. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Deion Jones coming in hard on the blitz. He gets him down for a loss of 4. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. On play action, it's Wentz. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Vic Beasley, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack.
Great 15, great
15. Working from the gun, Wentz. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on third down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
So out come the Falcons now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
On second down, Freeman. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Gun. Check. Crunch.
From the gun, it's Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. Ryan to Jones, the Falcon connection there for a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, here's Ryan. It's complete to Parker, left side. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put. He's got a man complete. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38.
Come on now.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Vic Beasley in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
Hey, that's all okay.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Now Wentz. And the pressure gets to him again. Deion Jones in there to drop him, and sacks on first and second downs are going to lead to a third and long.
All day, baby. All day. We coming all day.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. Eagles coming up here on a third and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Shotgun now for Wentz. And this is going to be incomplete. It was Ricardo Allen there on the coverage. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
And here now come the Falcons. There's really no reason to change what they've been doing to this point. They've got the lead. They've looked good this first half.
I agree with you totally, and a lot of coordinators, play callers feel exactly the same way. Until you stop what I'm doing, why should I make any changes? But there are a few that kind of outguess themselves or try to outguess the opponent, and they try to consider what they would do to take things away and go to those plays right away. It'll be fun to watch when they get to the second half to see which way they go.
Yeah, but to this point, it certainly hasn't been broke. We'll see if they try to fix anything. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again, Ryan. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. So the screen good for only 2. Now it's 3rd down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
On 3rd down, Ryan. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fielded at the 33. Whoosh. Oh, another spin.
Hard to line him up when he does that.
A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Now Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. They were doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot. Great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
To throw, it's Wentz. Going underneath, it's Coleman. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard to go for the first. Here's Coleman. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. The Eagles on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Throwing now is Wentz. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Khalil Mack in there to drop him. And his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys
21.
in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
throwing now. Ryan on first down. Escaping the pressure right. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. Devontae Parker was the intended receiver. And now it's second down. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Second and 10, it's Ryan again. Looking deep for Julio. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. The Falcons on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, Ryan. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Here's Matt Bosher now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Fielded at the 20. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. Their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Get up! Wait! 21! 39.
Again, they'll run with Freeman. And he powers his way up past the 30. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Gun. Hey, express!
From the gun on third down, Ryan. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
They had enough yards for the first down, but a clutch hit right there defensively jars it free. No first down.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken around the 12. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out if that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. Flush to his right. They find some open field here. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Wentz can pull it down when he needs to, and the 6'5" quarterback picks up the first down. So the youngster able to use the legs to pick up the first.
And one of my pet peeves when they see this guy play, when Carson Wentz takes off running the football, I always hear people go, oh, he's sneaky athletic. No, he's athletic. Watch him do it. He's an integral part of the quarterback run game, and he gets it done very, very well.
Yeah, you don't like sneaky athletic, do you? That's just kind of a jab in the back.
Yeah, not when it doesn't apply. I think that's a stereotype that needs to be broken down for him.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And an alley to run. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure somebody's there waiting for him to take off.
And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Took till the second half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, he's got a couple more downs to play with.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The Eagles on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. They will run again with Coleman. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Hey, 4 down.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
On 3rd and short to give it to tight end. And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Xavier Grimble, his first touchdown on the year. And the Eagles make some inroads here on that deficit. Now Wentz going to lead the Eagles up to go for 2.
Go.
Now Wentz. And this is going to be caught, so they do get it. And the 2 points, now they're back down to a 1-score deficit. Elliott now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Freeman again, a first down carry. Finding some room at midfield. 34 yards there and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Now Ryan on first down. Pressure comes and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Brandon Graham in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. They'll run it now out of the gun. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early. So that'll back them up 5. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. Losing 6 yards there to bring up 4th. Here's Matt Bosher now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now Wentz. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. Khalil Mack in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. From the gun, it's Wentz. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. That one goes for 24 yards. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback has to slide and find open space to throw.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
Run. 82.
Wentz will try again on 2nd down. And this is Ertz with it, right side. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Again, they'll throw with Wentz. That has it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. On second down, here's Wentz. Caught by the tight end Ertz. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
22!
Freeman again. And some space here. Freeman a first down. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Eagles have recovered.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. On the end around, this is Julio Jones. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
39.
On third down, Devontae Freeman. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to fourth down. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. Here's Matt Bosher now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? Well, a lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Back to throw. He'll buy some time right. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. They'll look to throw. Drops it off for Coleman. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll bring up a second down. Clock running here, under 90 seconds to go. Back to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Gibson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10.
Black. Go. 20.
He's back to throw. This complete left side to Aguilar. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. The Eagles on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 8. To throw is Wentz. Eluding the pressure right. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. A gain of 26 on the third down conversion. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
Drops it off to Johnny. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. He's having a nice game through the air. His decision-making's been really good. Solid there again. Just seeing nothing downfield, goes underneath. Nice game.
How about the patience? Because when you're having a big game through the air, you're looking for those chunk plays, those big ones downfield. Instead, as you noted, takes the check down, dumps it off, gains good yardage anyway. Really well executed.
And he'll be forced out of bounds shy of the line of scrimmage, so that'll be credited as a sack. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Now, I know it's only a loss of a couple of yards, but when you get near the sidelines, just flip the ball out of bounds, incomplete, and save the yardage. Save the yards, not your stats.
The Eagles on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. Here it's 3rd and 2.
There we go, back man. 120. Black.
Back to throw, Wentz. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
There we go, back man. 180.
Now Wentz, gotta have this one. And Jeffrey's got it. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. Throwing now is Wentz. Flushed out, and his ball is caught. It's a touchdown. And now in the final seconds, they're a PAT away from likely getting this thing to overtime.
Obviously, the excitement level here is almost a fever pitch. Down one. It's tempting to go for two. I say you go ahead and kick the extra point. You got the home crowd. Carry it into overtime.
I'm with you. I do see some fans, though, holding up 2 fingers. Easy now.
Yeah, but they're not the ones who have to actually make that call, are they?
That'll be taken in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. Here's Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left.
Hey, let's go.
Ryan now just 8 of 16 thus far, 50%, but it's 1st and 10. Here's Ryan. Looking downfield for Jones. And this one is incomplete. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far, and not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down. Short gain there to start overtime.
Almost a tester play, wasn't it? Wanted to see if the guys on defense were going to fit the gaps the correct way because we're in overtime. So it's not just physical tiredness out there, right? Mentally, are you still doing what you're supposed to do? And they were up to the task on that play.
And certainly fatigue on both sides of the football. Give him 30 yards there. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Tuesday.
58 Mike, 58 Mike.
Gun.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Brandon Graham in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Another carry for the workhorse tonight, Freeman. And he'll get across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
The Falcons on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 16. Two minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. 3rd and long. It's Ryan. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Well done by the defense. They did their job here in overtime.
Boy, did they ever, because now it's 4th and really long. So if you do decide to go for it, people think you might be a little bit on the nut side, don't they? But guess what? If I did decide to go for it, I'd call something deep. I'd throw a deep pass and hope that the defense didn't remember to just knock it down. If they intercept it, it's almost like a great punt and helps out your defense with field position.
The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Now part 1 is done, now part 2. First throw of overtime for Wentz. And that's complete to Jeffrey. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to him. 11 yards and a first down. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially...
Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. Still catching our breaths from that electric finish. You get in overtime, that's one thing. It was a great 4 quarters. But then in OT, not only to win it, but to win it on a defensive score. Wow.
Oh, definitely. And I think from now on, we're going to definitely travel someone who can help us, because I thought I was going to pass out at the end. Not just getting to the overtime, but the plays in overtime that led to this one, and to finish it on a defensive touchdown, a takeaway that gets into the end zone. I'm not rooting for anyone, but boy, I love to see games finish that way.
So for Atlanta, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, it's loss number 3 for them on the year. And they'll be back home next week for a date with the New York Jets. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.